Hello guitar teachers and students, welcome back. So today is part 3 of the series on triad stuff that works in like punk and rock and metal and all those sorts of genres. So if you are a fan of any of that stuff, then you're certainly in the right place. So in part 1 we looked at root position triads, part 2 was first inversion triads, and today we're going to tackle second inversion triads. Alright, let's do it. So quick review while I put up a link for part 1. If you didn't catch that, I definitely recommend starting there. So we started out with an A power chord, and then what we did is we turned that into an A minor root position triad by putting a C in the middle of it, which looks and sounds like that. And then in part 2 what we did is we put that C in the bass and then played a first inversion A minor triad, which sounds like that. So the second inversion triad, the best way that I found to teach it to people who are already pretty comfortable and familiar with power chords is through what I call the Johnny Ramone power chord. So the Johnny Ramone power chord, let's say we're playing a D power chord, and it's right here on the 5th fret and the 7th fret, and it's the notes D and A. And together they sound like that. So to make it the Johnny Ramone power chord, what we do is we just put another A in the bass like this. So now instead of going 5, 7, we go 5, 5, 7. So to make the Johnny Ramone power chord into a second inversion triad, what we do is from this, we keep the same low 2 notes. So we keep this low A on the 5th fret and this D on the 5th fret. But instead of going 2 frets up on the D string, what we're going to do is we're going to go 2 frets back. So we have A, D, F. And just like the other ones, if you want to make it a major, you take this high note and just raise it up a fret. So here's a D major second inversion triad, and here's a D minor second inversion triad. And here's the major, and here's the minor, and here's the major, and here's the minor. All right. Okay, so now let's check out some of this over chord progression. So the chord progression I'm going to use is B major, F sharp major, G sharp minor, E major. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play just power chords the first time, and then the second time I'm going to come back and play it through with some inverted triads, a power chord, and there's a Johnny Ramone power chord in there too, just for fun. So that sounds pretty good to me. Once again, much more color than the power chord example, and you get those cool little bass lines and melodies that you get when you do this sort of thing, and I'm always a fan of those. So this time the worksheets are going to look a lot like they did last time. So I give you guys big cheat sheets for second inversion triads, all up and down the neck in a bunch of different keys. And then there's another set of worksheets that is like some chord progressions with an example of how I would put together, you know, triads and first inversion triads and power chords and all that stuff. And then space below for you to try out some of your own. But before we go, I do need your help with something. So this stuff I've taught in person for many, many years, but this is my first try at teaching it via YouTube, which is quite different, right? Like there's no person-to-person feedback like you get in, you know, just sitting down with somebody. So to that extent, I know that this is a medium that I'm going to have to sort of grow into, and I'm really excited about doing that. I truly am. It truly is my goal to just make a fantastic resource for people, but I can't really do that without some sort of feedback, right? So if you've made it this far in the video, if you've watched other videos, if you've downloaded the worksheets, just drop a comment below and let me know. Let me know what worked. Let me know what was confusing. You guys really do have the ability to make a profoundly positive impact on this whole thing. So really, any feedback that you have for me, just drop it down in the comments. I will read everything. All right, so thank you for watching. In the next video, we're going to look at some strategies for putting all this stuff together. I think for some people, it'll be a good point to kind of get caught up and get some extra practice. And then for other people that are just hanging in there and doing awesome at this point, we're going to look at some different practice strategies and some different implementation strategies that I think if nothing else, will give you some cool new ways to think about it and some cool new ways to practice it. So should be something for everybody in that. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. All right, take care.